All right, welcome to your week 2 lesson. So last week we just did like a brief intro. Sorry. Last week we did like a brief introduction, just talking about what the overall business wholesale model kind of looks like. And then we also talked about how to gather brands so that way you can have a list to go off of and start contacting your brands, of your different distributors, and also hopefully direct a brand to as well. So what we're going to be focusing on today is we're going to be talking about how that communication looks, and we're also going to be diving into how to use Airtable and also how to use HubSpot too as well. So, like I said, recap, we talked about these things last week, and you guys don't have to worry about this right here, so just ignore that. But what you will need when you are going out and talking about different brands too as well is you'll need access to the Ecom Dave email script that we have, and then also we have a phone template form. You can also find them inside of your personal Basecamp too as well. So like if I go to this right here and we go to the docs and files section, you'll see right there, you should see two documents. It'll say phone template and one says email template. We're primarily going to be going over this one right here because the email template, most of your communications are going to happen over email. Might be a special circumstance where you may have to call and talk to somebody on the phone, but I'm gonna be really honest with you. 90% of the time, I've just never had to do that. The only time you probably ever have to talk to somebody on the phone is, let's say you were trying to contact local distributors like within the Texas area. Okay. But so before we talk about migrating everything over to the Airtable template, I want to kind of give you a brief tour of what HubSpot looks like, because knowing how to use that is going to be super important. And just keep in mind, the reason why we asked you to go ahead and create a HubSpot account is because this interface is going to be a lot more cleaner and it's a lot more easier to use opposed to just doing something like Gmail, because you're going to get a lot of different emails. And the good thing about HubSpot is not only does it help you keep everything separated, but let's say you want to add like your own virtual assistant, which a virtual assistant is just an employee that works like overseas or something and can help you with your business. And you don't have to give them your password to compromise your account for them to get in there and start doing stuff. You can just add them. So it's actually pretty neat. But when you get all signed in, and everything, it's going to look something like this. All right. Now, when you get in, all your emails should automatically integrate over into HubSpot. And if it doesn't, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do. But to access the emails, what you want to do is you'll come right here to where it says marketing, and you should go to email like this. Oh, sorry, not that. You go to, oh, they changed it. See settings. Nope. One second. They changed it. Inbox. There we go. Yep. So you go to this CRM and then you go to inbox. And it looks like this. Okay. So all these emails that you see right here, these are automatically all the ones that we're getting inside of this one that you see right here. Now, if your emails from that one email that you're using isn't integrated straight into this, you may have to send out like a temporary email or so from the HubSpot and then reply to it from the email that you created. So it look like this, like at the bottom right here, this is where you component. So let's just say this is where you compose an email. So you could be like, okay, my other email at gmail.com and then hit enter. And then in the bottom, you can just write like anything you want and then just hit send. All right. Then when you get the email on that other email that you have, then just go back, reply to it, and then it should automatically integrate. I've had a few people that had that issue in the past, but that you normally will fix it. All right. Now, let's say that you hire a virtual assistant and you want them to help you answer emails inside of your HubSpot. So you could do that by coming right here. You go to, you click on the name of your brand, the website, or whatever your email is, and then you want to go to where it says invite your team. So when you click on invite your team, you can click on this quick invite button right here, and then you can just go ahead and add the email address that the virtual assistant has. So you could just put it in here and then hit send, and then you can say, make them a super admin. So that way everybody has access to be able to do everything that you do inside of the HubSpot account. All right. Now, also, what's cool about this, let me go back to where it says CRM and then go to inbox. So when you're looking inside of here, let's say you do add a virtual assistant. If you have, let's say that you're talking to Rise Supplements, let's say that's the person that you're just have a business with. And let's say that you want the virtual assistant to be handling all of the conversation from that particular brand. So let's just say that this is the guy right here. So you'll notice on this right-hand side where it says contact owner, you can select that and then change it to the virtual assistant that you have added to your account. So what happens is when they log in from their side, they're going to see where it says assigned to me, it's going to be populated with 1 right here too as well. Also, another really cool thing about HubSpot that I like in comparison to using things like Yahoo and Gmail and stuff is that this thing keeps track of all of your contacts that you're having discussions with. So if you click on the CRM button and go to contacts right here, it has the name of every single person that we've sent emails to. You can see that here's their name, here's their email. You can actually update their phone number inside right here. You can also change who you want to have the communication with inside of this window too as well. So like if you want to assign it like that, you can do that too. And then also you can update your lead status. All right. Also, what's really nice about this is the create date too as well. So you can also keep track of the day and the time that you actually did this too. So HubSpot is a lot more effective, and the best part about this is it's completely free, so you do not have to pay for this. All right. Any questions about HubSpot? Nope. Okay. So we're going to be migrating everything over to the Airtable. Now, if you remember when we were talking about how to collect brands, you'll have this brand outreach template that looks just like this. And if you're doing this, all you have to do is just put the brand names that you collected off of Keepa. All right. So you don't have to update these other columns that you see right here. Now, the reason why, like I said in the last lesson, why we like to use Airtable more than we use Google Spreadsheets is because Airtable is a lot more sophisticated and it helps you keep things much more organized. The more organized you are, the more successful you're going to be at running your business. So when you go into your Airtable, you should have already added the Ecom brand outreach template at this point. So when it's inside, all you got to do is just click on it right here. Now, you can also, if you want to, you can also change the name of it by clicking on the name right here at the top. And then you can write whatever you like. So you could say, my brand outreach template. So that way you don't have to keep it the same as Ecom Dave if you don't want to. But knowing how to navigate around this, like there might be a slight learn curve to when you're looking at this, you're like, oh, wow, it might be a little overwhelmed, but I promise you it's actually pretty easy to use. So I want you to just focus on these 2 tabs right here at the top. It says one tab says distributor outreach /grading /supplier database. And then you have another tab right here that says brand outreach grading /supplier database. So I want you to think of these 2 things as completely separate from one another. One is for the distributors and one is particularly for the brands. Now, when you select one of these folders, you're going to notice that there's a list right here too as well. And they're both completely the same on each side. One says initial contact list. One says already contacted, account status, price list to grade, and suppliers with an active account, denied, and master view. So really the only ones that you really need to use for these tabs is the first 4. Okay. Now these other ones that you see right here, like these last 3 right here, you don't really have to use this too much. Just the first 4 is fine. Now, where it says initial contact list, this is where you're going to be putting in all of your brands at first. So in order to migrate all of your brands from the spreadsheet over to the Airtable, all you have to do is go back to your brands list. You can select the A column, and then if you hold the control button, you can deselect the brands right there and then just copy. And then when you go back over to your brand outreach template, just click on the first cell that you see right here and then just paste. So it may pop up and says, do you want to expand this table? Just go ahead and hit continue and then give it a second. Depending on how fast your computer is, it will go ahead and it will post all those brands in there. And then the same thing is for the brand outreach. You got to do that too for the same one because they're completely separate from one another. When you click on that brand outreach, you just click on the first cell, go ahead and paste it again, and then hit continue. When you hit a certain amount of data inside of Airtable, that's when the subscription is going to go ahead and try to charge you. I think it's up to 1,000 cells, but you should be good. Okay. Now, once you get the brands in there, this is the initial contact list like I was saying earlier. So the idea is when you're going out and you're contacting every single one of these distributors, you'll be filling in the information, and then the software will automatically separate the ones that you have contacted and the ones that you haven't. So for example, let's say I'm talking to a distributor for Rise Supplements, this company. So you would put in the name of the distributor, and then you would put in their website. So I don't know what their website is. Then you will skip this right here, but you'll put in their email. So you're like, all right, their email at gmail.com. And then you're going to put in their phone number. And then where it says supplier type, you're going to put it as a distributor. You don't have to do the status right here, but these are the things that you need. Now, this you gathered all of their information for this one distributor. So all you have to do is put in the day that you actually sent out a contact. So where it says last contacted, you just click this cell and then you select the date that you send out the first email. Once you select the date, that is when you'll notice that that brand, the distributor information that we just put in, it just completely vanished off of our initial contact list. So you're probably wondering, where did it go, right? Where did it go? Well, if you click on the already contacted tab, you'll notice that that is where that distributor's information is now put. So as you can see, as we are reaching out and contacting these different guys, it's going to just go ahead and separate the ones that you have contacted versus the ones that you haven't contacted. Now, also, so let's just say we contacted this guy right here. This is just examples, but let's say we contacted this guy right here. And then let's just say we contacted this guy right here too as well. All right, cool. So we said we contacted distributors for these three guys: Rise Supplements, Vitamin Water, and SC Johnson. Okay. So as you are talking to them, you are going to have to keep status of where you are with the process of getting a wholesale contract. Because the ending goal of doing all this is you are trying to make sure that you are approved to purchase and sell goods from this particular distributor, right? So as you are contacting them, you can keep track of the statuses of where you're at with the communication with these guys. So for example, like for this distributor right here, where it says status, you can change this and you can put it as, all right, we've submitted an application for this guy. You can also go to Vitamin Water and we say like, all right, we did submit one, but we're just waiting to see if our wholesale account is approved with them so we can purchase goods from them. And then also for SC Johnson, let's say that we're already approved. All right. And for fun, I'm just going to go ahead and add one more person in there too as well, so you can kind of see why this is cool. So let's say I added this guy. So I have Fujifilm in here. And let's say that I submit an application for him too as well. So we have one distributor, I've received the price list, one person that we are approved and we received the price list. And then also right here, we've submitted applications for both of these guys. So if you look at where it says account status, if I click on this, you'll notice that the software will automatically sort out the ones that fit underneath this particular status. So where it says submitted application, these two are the ones that fit under this category. This is the ones that we have just received a price list, and this is the one that is approved. Okay. Now, like I said, the whole goal of doing this is to try to get a wholesale account open with the distributor. And in the very beginning, when you start reaching out to distributors and different brands, it's a lot easier. Sorry, let me fix this mic. 1 second. It is a lot easier to get approved with distributors versus with direct brands. So, from my experience, I have noticed with direct to brand guys, uh, they have a lot higher prerequisites in order to get approved with them. So, there's nothing wrong with just working with distributors completely, especially for your wholesale business. All right. Now, like I said, these two things are separate from one another. So if I go back to my initial contact list and let's say I'm like, all right, I want to start contacting direct to brand, which is going directly to the manufacturer and not talking to distributors. If I click on this one particular tab right here, you'll notice that the brand list that I initially put in there is completely the same. And if I click these other tabs where it says already contacted and account status, you'll notice that there's nothing in here because, like I said, these two tabs are separate from one another, where it says distributor outreach and brand outreach. Okay. I know it seems like a little overwhelming at first, but like as you get your hands on it and you start messing with it, it becomes a lot easier. Trust me. Did you guys have any questions about uh did you have any questions about Airtable or how it works or HubSpot or anything like that?
Uh, Question is, how do I get their information? How do I do that?
It's an excellent question because I'm about to teach you how to do it.
Got it.
Good question. But I just want you to understand like how to kind of navigate around the software a
I
little bit. Like
I I did understand you, and it is better than what I thought. I do like this software. It will help to keep track or everything basically. I do
you can
understand.
actually, what's funny is like I showed people in the past on how to use Airtable, and now I've noticed like what some people do, like, dudes, thank you so much for showing me Airtable because now a lot of those guys, it's like they rather use Airtable for other things than rather just using it Google spreadsheets. Because it's like if you're doing something one by one and you're keeping everything separated and organized from one another, it's just way better, like much more organized and structured, in my opinion.
Yeah.
All right. So before we get started, and let me teach you how to start contacting distributors and stuff. There's a couple of disclaimers that I want to put out there. Number one, the process of contacting a distributor is about the same as contacting a direct to brand. Okay. The other thing is that you want to know is that when you're contacting distributors and contacting brands, you do not want to let them know that you sell on Amazon. All right. Probably wondering why would you not want to tell anybody that you sell on Amazon? Well, that's mainly because sometimes distributors they kind of look frowned upon Amazon sellers because sometimes the distributors themselves they already sell on Amazon. So if you tell them, "Hey, I sell on Amazon too," that's just another reason for them to give you a no. So for the matter of fact is, if they ask you, you just say no. And if they find out, worst case scenario is they're going to just not sell you product anymore, which is fine because we're just going to keep building. You're just going to be keep building a list of different vendors and people to keep purchasing product from. Okay. But contacting a distributor is super easy. So let's go back to our Airtable really quick. I'm going to get this stuff out. Just go ahead and do this. Delete all this.
Let me ask you a question because the email that I put on here was basically the same email that I have for my Amazon account.
Mm-hmm.
It says Amazon in it. Should I use a different email? That
I would strongly recommend not to use an email that has Amazon in it.
I got you.
Mm-hmm. Just because if they see that, that's another they're gonna be like, oh, he's an Amazon seller. So yeah, good question though. Okay, so contacting distributors is fairly easy to do. Okay, but the first step is when you're ready to contact your first distributor. when you go to your Airtable, you're going to double click the brand name. You're going to copy it right here. Then what you're going to do is you're going to go over to google.com. So we go to google.com. And then when we get to Google, we're going to go ahead and paste that in there. And then after the end of it, we're going to write distributor. Like this. When you get here, you want to make sure you avoid all the sponsored ad links that pop up on Google. All right. Don't click on any of those guys. All right. Now, what you're going to be looking for is you're going to be looking for some sort of verbiage or wording that insinuates that that website is for distributors. Okay. So, for example, this one right here where it says Rise Supplements Fuel Your Greatness. Notice the website says risesubs.com. So that's not a distributor. That's actually direct to manufacturer. Okay. They're the ones that make it. But if you look a little bit lower, you'll notice that we see like nutrition wholesalers, Rise Supplements for nutrition wholesalers. So that sounds like that would be a distributor for this particular brand. Here's another one. Rise Archives, the leading nationwide distributor for sports and nutrition and health products. So that sounds like another one. Muscle Food USA. So it's very common to see multiple distributors for that one particular brand. And if you want to contact every single one of them, that's completely fine. And I'm going to show you how you can actually record all of the information for every single one, every distributor that you have contacted, even though you've only written the brand name in your Airtable account just one time. But I would just strongly recommend to make sure that you're picking a distributor that's inside of the US. Try not to do ones that are overseas or something. Because getting the product is going to be a lot more difficult. All right, just keep it within the US. So we're going to click on this first one right here, nutrition wholesalers. So when I click on it, when you get to the website, the first thing you want to do is you want to look for a button that says contact or something that says wholesale. The easiest way you can do that is if you hit the Control F button on your keyboard, or if you're on a Mac, you can hit Command F, and then you can type like contact or something. So notice right here, it says contact us. All right. So when we click that contact us button, you'll see here's some information on them. And then right here has where you're going to put your name, email, phone number, and message. So we're going to put in our, so before we fill this out, let's just go ahead and try to get as much information on them as much as we can and put it in our Airtable. So where it says Rise Supplements, you're going to put the name of the distributor. So the name of this distributor is Nutrition Wholesalers. All right. So just copy that, put it in our template like this. And then there we go. Nutrition Wholesalers. We're going to put the name of the website, which their website is nutritionwholesalers.com. We'll come back over here, nutritionwholesalers.com. We're going to skip the last contacted us for now. We're going to put their email. Do they have an email? Yes, they have an email. info@nutritionwholesalers.com. Come back over here. Boom, just like that. This one says phone number. Let's see if they have a phone number. Yes, they have one. So we're going to copy that, put it in there. And then for the supplier type, we put it as a distributor. So before we put a last contacted us date, now we got to go ahead and fill out that form, or fill out this template right here to go ahead and send out that contact. So we're going to put in our name. So you'll put your name in there. You'll put your email from your HubSpot in here too as well. So myWholesaleEmail@gmail.com. You'll put your phone number. And then in this box, this is where you're going to use that email template that I first showed at the beginning of the class, where it says the Ecom Dave email template. So it says first email. You have two first emails that you can use. You have one right here for the distributor, and then you have one right here for the direct to brand. So we're going to be using the distributor one. Now it says, hello, we are looking to add a few high quality product lines to our store. We would like to set up a wholesale account. We have already attached our resale certificate. If you need anything else to set up an account, please send it over and we will get back to you as soon as possible. So you're going to copy that. And then you're going to go back over to the distributor's website and you're going to paste that inside. Now, if there isn't an area to attach a resale certificate, you want to go ahead and remove this portion where it says we have already attached our resale certificate. You don't want to put that there. Okay. Now, before you hit this send button, all right, you're going to make sure you have already gotten all their information, and we've already done that. And you're going to make sure you remove that line, just like how we did if you can attach a resale certificate. And if you've already done all that, then you're going to hit that send button. After you hit the send button, that's where you're going to come back over to your Airtable and you're going to click on the date that you actually contacted them. So right here on January 30th, we selected it, and then now their name and their information is already put in our already contacted tab. All right. So it's just that simple. All right, I'm going to quiz you and see if you can help me do this. All right. So we're going to do this one for Vitamin Water. What's the first step we got to do in order to contact our distributor?
Copy the brand.
Yep. All right. Yep. We copy the brand. And then what's the next step?
Go to Google.
Yep. Go to Google. All right. Perfect.
Paste it.
Yep. Paste it.
Space.
Mm-hmm.
Distributor.
All right. All right. Cool. Next.
The first one is a wholesale.
Perfect. Yep. Chicago City Distributors.
Can you go to About Us?
There's About Us. So what are we looking for specifically?
Hit their
Contact us.
information. What?
I think
Contact us.
yeah, we're gonna be looking for like something to contact us. So this one doesn't have contact us written on here. Oh, here it is. Contact. There we go. Contact. So there we go. All right, and then what do we do after that?
We try to collect their information before we send it.
Perfect.
Contact.
So what's the name of the distributor?
Chicago Distributor.
Yep. Chicago City Distributors. Okay. What's next?
Website.
All right. Website. It's going to be this ccdwholesale.com.
Okay.
All right. Then what's next?
The email.
Right. The email. Let's see if we can find the email.
Yes, in the bottom there is the email there.
Perfect. Right there. Sales.
What
All
phone
right.
number? What you get now?
All right. So this one's a fax, and then this one's the regular phone number.
Okay, the regular.
So we're going to do that one. And then we got the supplier type. Okay, so what's next?
Go to back to the page.
Mm-hmm.
We are gonna fill out all information, of
Yep.
course.
So
An email that doesn't say Amazon.
yep. All right. Okay. Now for this, because you haven't seen this before, you'll just put place an order. All right.
Okay.
Because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to get the wholesale account and be able to start placing orders with them. So then what do we do after that?
I don't really know what to put on the subject, but in the message, I know I go to the template.
Mm-hmm. So we go to the template. Now, if you have to put in a subject, then there you go right there.
Okay.
So wholesale inquiry. And then we're going to go over here. We're going to copy this message. And then we're going to paste it inside. All right.
You need to delete I attach the certificate because we don't have a way to attach any document.
Correct. Okay, so we
And
did that.
you're good to go.
Yep, so we hit submit. What do we got to do after that? There's one more thing we got to do.
After that,
Yep, there's one more thing we got to do. What do we got to do?
We go back to our status to put that we've already contacted the distributor.
Correct. So we got to put in the date that we contacted him, right? So we
I
come
was
right
not in
here
that plan.
and then selected it. There we go. Final piece. Very good. That's actually really, really good for the first time that you guys ever did that. So congratulations. I can tell you right now, I've asked people that question, and sometimes I don't know. I don't know. So you guys did really good. Now, now something I wanted to add because remember when we were talking about the rice supplements, if you have uh, multiple distributors, right, that you want to contact, and let's say, like for instance, we already did nutrition wholesalers, but let's say you want to do Sport Life distribution. Okay, so when you click on the website and then you go to contact us, and you want to go ahead and start working on this, and this is a good example of like they don't have a form on their website. Okay, so what does that mean? So you would just collect all the information like we did and put it inside of your Airtable template, right? But instead of sending the email on their website, you would go through your HubSpot to do it.
Okay.
All right. So that means you would go over to right here to CRM, go to inbox, and then you would just compose your email right here. All right. Also, since we've already have Rise supplements in here for this one, let's say you want to put in another distributor for that brand. So what you got to do is just right click the first brand, just hit insert record above, and then you can just put in your brand. So Rise supplements, and then you can go ahead and start adding in your information. So Sports Life distribution. Can't spell. Oops. There we go. So website, email. Boom. There we go.
You need to do this 1,000 times.
Yeah, I've done it a lot. So phone number, supplier type. Now we have that. Let's say we send the email through here. So we just get their email. Whoops. That's not it. So we get their email, fill it out here, and then we go to our template, grab that subject line, and then we're going to go ahead and put, where is it? Right here. We're going to grab this, put it in there, and then you'll attach your resource certificate in there.
Okay, I need to get my resource certificate. I haven't got it to me yet.
They said they're still working on it though, right? Legalese.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, because I got off the phone with him and he said like it'd be pretty easy to get it for you, so you should have it pretty soon, for the most part. But you would attach the resale certificate right here, and then after you attach the resale certificate, you'll go ahead and you'll hit send on inside your HubSpot, and then you'll come back over here, and then you'll add your last contact date. So now it's gonna look like you have the brand listed twice, but you have two different distributors in there now.
Yes.
Now the process is pretty much the same. The process is pretty much the same too for direct to brand. The only key difference is that you're going to be doing is like, let's say it's Rise supplements. So when you're doing it, the only thing you want to do instead is you're going to write wholesale instead. You're not going to write distributor. So you're going to look for the direct to manufacturer's website. And then you're going to try to find a wholesale on here. So usually, like, if you don't see anything that says wholesale, you could do customer support. And then you could hit other, and then you could start filling it out right here. Just make sure you're using the brand outreach tab and not the distributor outreach tab. Now, some other notes I want to talk about with distributors. Sometimes, some distributors, you can automatically create a wholesale account and go ahead and order products. Billo is a really good example of this. The website's Billo Ltd. I'm actually going to be putting this information out at the end of this if you don't on the end of the slideshow. But if you'll notice, like some of these accounts, like you could just come in here, you could create an account. Whoops.
Can we sell beauty? Things for beauty in the face?
Yes, you just don't want to do like hairspray.
Okay.
Would recommend not to do hairspray. So you would just create an account over here, and then what you want to do is you can go to where it says they changed their website. Hold on. They should have catalogs. Yep, there it is. So you go to catalogs, and then right here you want the Excel option. You want to click on Excel. Because what you want is when you get your price list, you want it to be in Excel, just like this. Okay. Now, if you don't have Excel on your computer, I would strongly recommend that if you can't open this, and even if you do have it, just go ahead and get it transferred over to Google Spreadsheets. Okay. Now, to get the document transferred over to Google Spreadsheets, you can just go to Google Spreadsheets like this. Go to a blank sheet. And then when you go inside of the blank sheet, just hit File, Import, Upload, go to Browse, and then find that spreadsheet and then just hit Import Data. Just like this. And then you can change the name of the document. You can go Billo Price List. Okay. So when you do get a price list, I'm going to show you what to do with it a little bit later. But I'm just saying, like, the main key thing is some places you can just create the account and you can go ahead and start ordering products. Now, some places, like this one, you have to create the account and then you have to pay for a subscription. Frontier Coop is a really good one. A lot of the products that they sell is grocery, gourmet, and food. So really, you may have to pay, I think it's like $10 a month or something like that. So you create the account and then you can get the price list straight from their website too as well. Okay. And I also do have a link on how to get over to Frontier Coop. All right. So the last bit of this class, what we're going to be talking about today, because I only really got 15 minutes with you guys. So I'm going to try to get in as much as I can. So I want to talk to you guys about email scenarios, like what the conversation looks like when you are talking to these guys. All right. And how to update the statuses inside of your Airtable account. So let's start off with the first one. So let's just say you sent out that first contact and you haven't heard from them after 3 days. If you haven't heard from them in 3 days, this is where you're going to go ahead and you're going to send up the follow-up email. All right. So when you're going inside of your template like this, and let's just say, okay, we haven't heard anything from Rise Supplements. So you're going to go to your, you're going to copy their email, go to the HubSpot, and then you're going to go ahead. You're going to put their email in there. And then when you go to your EcomDave email template, you're going to scroll down a little bit. And you're going to go to where it says, right here where it says follow up. And it says, hello, I'm just following up. Would like to purchase products from you. We are trying to set up a wholesale account. I have attached our resale certificate. Best regards. So you'll copy this portion right here. You'll go back to your HubSpot and paste that inside. And then you're going to hit send. After you hit send, you want to make sure that you update the date inside of when you sent out that contact. So for instance, if it was 3 days later, you'd be like, oh, okay, I sent that email out on this Sunday, on February. You would not update your status at this point. Now, let's say if they don't, and then so after this, you can follow up with them weekly. You don't need to do it every single 3 days. All right. So let's say if the distributor responds to your email and they don't send a price list and they don't send you a wholesale application. All right. So if they don't ever send you, let's just say they literally just email you back and they just say, hey, how are you doing? How can we help you today? Just generic email. All right. So this is where you're going to send the second response to them. So you'll go inside of your email. You go to where it says second. You go to the template. I'm sorry. You go to the template and then you're going to look for it says second email and you're going to copy this portion right here. So you copy, you go into your HubSpot, and then you're going to paste that inside. And that says pretty much, hello, we are looking to add a few quality product lines to our store. We would like to set up a wholesale account. We have already attached our resale certificate. If you need anything else to set up an account, please send it over and we will get back to you as soon as possible. If you can, please send over a price list with this stuff. And don't worry about this. We'll talk about this next week. Also, we would like to work best. We would like to know how to work best with you and make each order an easy process to become your easiest customer to work with. We have a few questions that helps with the process. And then we ask these questions. So you're going to send that email off. Okay. You're going to reply to them. And then inside, all you have to do is update your contact date. At this point, you still do not update your status. Now, let's say if the distributor responds with just a price list, okay? Let's say you send them they send you an email, and then you sent the first email, then they responded back with a price list. I actually have a really good example of this. So right here. So if you look at this example, there is the first email that we sent out. And then they came back and then they said, all right, thank you for this. We pride ourselves on having hundreds of brands. Most are made in USA brands. To move forward buying wholesale with us, below is our best-selling product link. So right here, they sent us this price list. It has all these products on it. So whenever you get a price list just from them, first thing you need to make sure you do is you need to update your Airtable. So when you go to your Airtable, let's pretend that this is Medcare for this example. And so what you're going to do is you're going to update your status. Now you're going to put it to received, price list, and account pending. And if you have a price list, you'll go over to where it says account status. And then where it says price list, this is where you'll paste the link right there for the price list for that one particular distributor. That way, if you ever need to go back and you need to get access to it, you know exactly where to find it inside of your Airtable. Okay? But now since you have done that, like I said, the first thing is after you've updated your Airtable, that's the first thing you need to do. And the second thing you need to do is you need to make sure that you don't automatically assume that just because they sent you a price list, that you are good to go to order products. All right? You don't want to do that. Why? Because sometimes distributors will have may have like certain prerequisites that they want you to meet before you are able to even order the product. And before you even purchase your first set of products, when you're doing wholesale, there's a lot of other stuff that you have to do. You have to, after you do it, you have to format, you have to match the price list. And after you do that, then you have to go and you have to grade the products. You have to figure out which ones are profitable. Once you figure out which ones are profitable, then you have to see, can you upload it to your store on your Amazon account? And then once you are good to go on that, then you can go ahead and start ordering products. So you don't want to do all those steps. And then let's say like you're like, all right, I'm ready to go ahead and order. And then they say, well, you got to apply with our wholesale application. Then you would have felt like you wasted your time. All right. So with that being said, that's why you never want to assume right off the bat that you can just order. So if you get response from a distributor and then they say, oh, here's just the price list, you want to make sure that you use this portion of your template. And it says right here, if they send a price list without approving your account, you're going to send this response. Thank you for your price list. Once I find my products and I want to purchase, does that mean my account is set up and are you going to fulfill that order? Or is there another verification process before my account is set up? So we want to just double check and make sure that there's nothing else. If they come back and say, hey, you're good to go in and order products, then guess what? Now it's no longer a pending situation. Now it's a simple of it's just approved. You can say, all right, I'm approved. I've already received the price list and I'm good to go. Right? But if they don't do that, and well, let me take a few steps back. So if you look at this example, here's where we sent that, right? And then they sent this generic message right here. It's really not that important, but they came back and they responded right here. They said, to move forward with buying wholesale, please reply to this email with the following. Fill and send out an attached purchase order form. Purchase order form is just letting you know, hey, which products you want to order. Then they say, fill out and send back an attached Medicare account setup application. So they sent an application. Do not forget to include a copy of the IRS document that shows your EIN number or U.S. federal tax ID certificate or U.S.-based business license. And then right here, here are the two things. So you have one right here that's an account application, and then one right here that's actually a purchase order form. So if we open up this application, here it is. You want to go ahead and fill this out. Business name needs to be the name of the business on your on your LLC documentation. You need to put your EIN number in, and then the same thing. Business name is going to be the same thing as your legal business name. Billing address, this information right here, this needs to be the same address that is linked to your Amazon Seller Central account. That is super important. So whatever address information that you put on your Amazon account, that's what needs to be on the billing information. Okay. For the shipping information, this is where you're going to be putting in your prep center. Okay. You can put your name in here, your number. If you have anything else like authorized purchase contact name, usually the authorized purchaser and the office manager's name, they're usually the same thing. Okay. Then where it says preferred method of receiving a statement, you just put in, you would just put email, and then you would just go ahead and print and sign and date. Now, once you fill out the application, you're going to attach it in the email. And then before you hit that send button, you're going to say, here is my application. Once it's approved, is my wholesale account good to go? So you'll just put that in there. You'll send that email out, and then inside your Airtable template, you want to go ahead and you want to update the day that you contacted them. Okay? If they respond back to you and says, yes, your wholesale account application is good, it looks great, you are good to go ahead and order products, then you want to go ahead and you update this and your account is finally approved. All right? Here's another example why you want to make sure that you always don't assume what the price list, and you want to double check. Here's a screenshot right here of when we contacted Johnson & Johnson. They told us that, because we got the price list, but then they said, you have to purchase at least $10,000 per purchase order. So you have to spend $10K per purchase order. And then also your business have to be in for 2 years, have a solid Dun & Bradstreet rating, last 3 years of audited financial statements, and minimum of 3 credit/trade references.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. You don't want to go through all that and then you figure this out later, okay? So once you have done those things, you'll be approved. Now, the same thing applies to when you're doing contact direct to brands, all right? Now, one last thing before I let you guys go is you want to make sure that when you're contacting them, you want to use this website right here, trustpilot.com. This is how you can just make sure that you are doing business with somebody legitimate, okay? So usually, I don't usually do this until a little bit later on. Let's say I'm done for the day and let's say I'm approved. I actually don't do this unless I'm actually approved, is basically what I'm trying to say. So for example, the Medicare ones, I got approved for them, right? But if you want to just make sure that you're these guys are legitimate. This is Medcare LLC. So if I put in Medcare LLC, they'll pop up, and they don't really have the best ratings. Some people said they're scammers. Like, look, somebody wrote that an hour ago. They claim to be an authorized wholesaler of Cerave products, and USA indicated their website, Medcare Group LLC, is not listed amongst these authorized resellers. Therefore, it's recommended to exercise caution and verify the authenticity of products when purchasing from Medcare Group LLC. So, to be honest, with this many people putting these bad reviews in here, probably would not do business with them. Okay? But this trustpilot.com website, this is like the Better Business Bureau. You're not going to find every single person on here. If you can't find the person on here, then usually I just go to Google and I try to search up that company to see if I can find any information. All right? See if there's some other wholesalers that have actually done business with them. All right? But that concludes our week 2 lesson for today. So I did, on this slideshow, I did leave 3 links for you guys. To the ones to the free distributors that you could use too as well, if you want to purchase from those guys too. But we're already going to be sending you a massive list of distributors to choose from and products anyway, so you're going to be good. And then also, last but not least, so if you were doing the homework, you would try to contact and get as many wholesale contracts as you can. Okay. So next week is going to be a really technical lesson more than anything. Next week is going to be more of a technical lesson. It's not the most exciting lesson. I'm just going to put that out there. It's just a disclaimer. Okay. So I'm going to try to make it entertaining as much as possible, but that's going to be a heavy PC lesson. But before I let you guys go, did you guys have any questions for me?
Do you have any other way to find brands that are out there that we can sell besides the Keepa list?
I
Do you
mean,
have
you can
any other?
always write down brand names, but I find the Keepa is the easiest way to get those brands.
Okay. Just to be honest, there is a limited the products that we can sell. Like if we go to Amazon and they have too many people, the brand is too big. Do we want to really sell that or not?
Well, we're actually gonna talk about that. You're actually gonna know if you should be selling a product like that or not. It's not really based off of how many people are selling it. There's gonna be a way for us to see, can we actually make money off this deal or not. And if we can't make money off of it, then we're just not going to purchase it. But it doesn't actually really have to do with how many wholesalers are on it. I mean, it kind of does, but it kind of doesn't too. Because sometimes you can make money off of a listing. There could be 10 wholesalers on it, but the traffic is so high that we still make money off of it.
Gotcha. That'd be it.
Okay. Well, thank you guys so much. So just remember, classes
Oh,
every Thursday at 3:30 p.m. our time, all right, in Central Time. I will get this recording up for you, and I will get the slideshow up for you too as well. If you have any questions for me, feel free to reach out. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next week with the next lesson.
Asher,
Yes.
before you go, I tag you in the group and I ask you, what is sales status? And do I have to file that? Because the legal she told me to ask my coach.
So sales taxes on you have to fill out a franchise sales tax report, but because Amazon takes care of the sales tax, like they take care of our sales tax, we don't have to pay it.
Yeah, well, with who I have to go to do that before I figure it out.
So to fill out your sales tax report, it's texascomptroller.com. That's how you do it.
I got it. Sounds good.
And you'll know too if you need to do it, because the comptroller will actually send you a nice little letter in the mail saying that, hey, you need to get this done.
Sounds good then.
All right. But
Okay.
yeah, don't worry about it. I mean, as long as if you don't purchase anything, you don't have to do that. But the sales tax from Amazon, like they take care of your sales tax for you.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right. You have a wonderful weekend, guys. I'll see you next week with the next lesson.
You see it.
Thank you.
No problem.